Welcome, dear listener. It's time to slow down, settle into a comfortable space, and embark on a gentle journey through time. Allow your mind to drift, carried softly through the currents of history, guided by the steady rhythm of my voice. Allow your breathing to deepen, to match the ancient pulse of the earth. Here you are, meant to fully relax, letting go of all tensions of the day. It's all right to let go of your busy thoughts. Let your worries drift away like clouds passing in the sky, leaving only serenity behind. Allow yourself to be carried away by the soft telling of stories from a time long ago. Breathe in the peace of ages past, and let your muscles melt into the tranquility of bygone era. Now, let us begin. Tonight, we journey to ancient China, to a world shaped by towering ambition and quiet perseverance, to experience the remarkable and often overlooked stories hidden behind one of humanity's greatest architectural feats, the Great Wall. Imagine yourself transported back to the year 200 BC, standing before you as a young emperor, his face reflecting both the burden of his lineage and the fire of his ambitions. This is the young man who would become the great emperor of China, the man who would see himself as the son of heaven, the ruler of all he could see. He's known to history simply as Shi, but what made him who he became? His story is one of calculated moves, quiet determination, and an unwavering focus on order. His rise to power was not swift nor easy. His road to the top was paved with cautious steps and strategic alliances, proving his mettle time and again. But it was his vision, his unrelenting drive to unite and control that set him apart. For Qin Shi Huang, the world was a canvas, and he, the artist, ready to paint it in grand strokes of uniformity. He envisioned a China bound together by shared laws, a common script, and a unified currency. This vision was radical for its time, as revolutionary as any futurist's dream. Yet it was also deeply rooted in tradition, a subtle manipulation of the cultural threads already woven into the fabric of Chinese society. But the true measure of a leader lies not in his vision, but in his execution. What sets Qin Shi Huang apart is how he brought that vision to life. He introduced a merit-based bureaucracy, placing able officials where they were needed most. He standardized weights and measures, making trade and communication more efficient than ever before. But it was his legal reforms that were the most sweeping, creating a uniform justice system across his vast domain. Yet amidst these accomplishments, a dark cloud loomed, a growing paranoia that cast long shadows. Fearful of rebellions and usurpations, he tightened his grip, centralizing power in ways that made him more a god than an emperor. His infamously glisse philosophy, advocating harsh laws and strict punishments, became the guiding light of his reign. Opponents and dissidents alike felt the full force of his wrath, often meeting their end on the infamous death carts. Ironically, it was this very ruthlessness that laid the groundwork for the dynasty's fall. In tightening his grip on power, he alienated many of his own people, turning potential allies into bitter enemies. As we stand at the precipice of this great leader's life, it's hard not to feel a mix of admiration and sorrow, for in his relentless pursuit of order and control, he forgot the simple truth that even the greatest empires are built on the backs of people, not the cold logic of laws. As we bid farewell to this ambitious leader, let us remember that it's not just the grand monuments that shape history, but the choices made by those who walk its path. May his story serve as a reminder for us all. It's easy to get lost in the labyrinth of power, forgetting that true strength lies in balance and compassion. As we gently leave behind the life of Emperor Shi Huangdi, let us reflect on his complicated legacy and the human cost of unchecked ambition. With every inhale, let his story sink deeper into your understanding. And with every exhale, release any judgments you might have. Remember, history is a tapestry woven with both darkness and light. It's up to us to see the whole picture. Now, let us turn our attention to a figure shrouded in mystery, a man who walked the earth during the height of China's grandeur, but whose presence left little trace in the historical records. He's a shadowy figure from a forgotten past, known only as the first emperor's uncle. Imagine him as a whisper in the grand halls of history, a man whose importance we understand, yet whose name and story have been lost to time. His story is not written in stone, but etched in the subtle nuances of what we do know. Historical accounts tell us of his pivotal role, a right-hand man to the emperor, a confidant, a strategist. He stood by the emperor's side during some of the most crucial moments in China's history. The problem is that these same accounts are frustratingly vague, leaving us with more questions than answers. Who was this mysterious man? What shaped his character? What were his dreams and fears? These questions echo through the corridors of history, unanswered. Yet, despite his obscurity, his impact is undeniable. He played a key role in shaping the early empire, acting as the emperor's guide in the complex game of he helped navigate the treacherous waters of court politics, serving as the emperor's eyes and ears. His counsel was likely invaluable, offering insights and advice honed by years of experience. In a world where power was often inherited by the ruthless and cunning, this man stood out as a beacon of loyalty and wisdom. His service to the emperor was not born out of blood ties or selfish ambitions, but out of a quiet sense of duty and love for his homeland. While he may have lived in the shadow of his more famous nephew, his contributions were no less significant. He helped lay the foundation for the empire's stability, contributing to its early growth and prosperity. But like many unsung heroes throughout history, he faded into the background, his name lost to the sands of time. As we ponder the mystery of the emperor's uncle, let us remember that history is not just about the loudest voices, but also about the quiet contributions that shape our world. His story serves as a gentle reminder of the countless individuals whose names may be forgotten, but whose actions have had a profound impact on the course of history. Now, let us slip into the luxurious garments of an aristocrat's life, where silk brushed against bare skin and jade ornaments whispered tales of wealth and power. Imagine yourself stepping into a world of lavish banquets, where jade cups clinked against silk cushions, and scholars debated poetry while musicians played beneath the soft glow of paper lanterns. This was the life of the Chinese aristocrats, a blend of refined culture and quiet luxury. These were men and women who held positions of power, their influence extending deep into the heart of the empire. They were the movers and shakers of their society, shaping policies and decisions that affected the lives of countless people. Their influence was subtle yet pervasive, like the gentle flow of a river carving its path through time. But being an aristocrat wasn't just about power and influence, it was also about cultivating a life of leisure, a chance to appreciate the finer things in life. They collected exquisite works of art, their homes becoming sanctuaries of beauty. They hosted poetry readings, inviting some of the finest minds of the age to discuss literature and philosophy. They enjoyed elaborate ceremonies, each movement as graceful and precise as a dancer's pirouette. Amidst the luxury, however, there was a quiet cost. The aristocrats were not just admired, they were also envied and sometimes feared. Their wealth and power made them targets, and maintaining their status required constant vigilance. They lived with the knowledge that their lives were not their own, that every decision, every move was scrutinized and judged by an unforgiving public eye. This created a unique culture, a tight-knit community bound together by shared interests and challenges. Within the walls of their homes, they could shed the heavy cloak of public perception, relaxing into the roles of husbands, wives, parents, and friends. Theirs was a life of quiet pleasures, enjoying the simple things like a good book, a hearty meal, or the company of loved ones. Yet, beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic life, there was a current of anxiety. The aristocrats lived in a world of delicate balances, where one wrong move could topple their carefully constructed lives. They had to maintain the right alliances, make strategic marriages, and always be prepared for the unexpected. It was a constant game of chess, where every piece had its value and every move could be their last. As we step out of the life of Chinese aristocrats, let us carry with us the quiet strength and grace they embodied. Remember, true luxury isn't just about material wealth, but also about finding peace and joy in the simplest aspects of life. And true power lies not in dominating others, but in uplifting and inspiring those around you. We hope you found this journey through time as captivating as we did. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe. And with that, we'll see you next time.